The topic is deciding whether the polynomial x minus k is a factor of a polynomial f of x. So let's read the definition. Definition is right here. X minus k is a factor of f of x, and if and only if f of k is equal to 0. This is called a factor theorem. So in other words, we have like 3 examples here. Let's do the first example. So if we try for the first example, we try to determine whether x minus 1 is a factor of f of x equal 3x to the 4th minus x cubed plus 2x. So by looking at the problem, this is k, right? X minus k. So all we need to check if f of k is 0, right? Right here, the theorem. In other words, all we need to check if f of 1 is equal to 0. So how do we find f of 1? Just plug in 1 into our function. So 3 times 1 to the 4th minus 1 cube plus 2 times 1. And this is equal 3 minus 1 plus 2. That's equal what? 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. So f of 1 is equal to 4. This is not equal to 0, definitely. So the answer is no. X minus 1 is not a factor of f of x. Now let's do example 2. Second example, we try to determine same thing if x minus 1 is a factor of this function. So again, our k happens to be 1. So all we need to do, evaluate f of 1. If we get a 0, the answer will be yes, it's a factor. If not, it's not a factor. So let's plug in a 1. This will be 3 times 1 to the 5 minus 2, 1 to the 4th plus 1 cubed minus 2. It's going to be 3 minus 2 plus 1 minus 2. 3 minus 2 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2. So it's a 0. F of 1 is 0. Therefore, the answer is yes, x minus 1 is a factor. Now, for the next example, we try to determine whether x plus 2 is a factor. So here, remember, x minus k. So in other words, we need to be able to use a theorem effectively, we need to write x plus 2 as x minus a number. So definitely that would be minus 2. So my k now happens to be negative 2. So all I need to check is f of negative 2. If I got a 0, the answer will be yes, it's a factor. If not, then the answer will be no. So f of negative 2 is equal minus 2 to the 4th plus 2 times minus 2, 8 minus 2 minus 2. Now this is going to be 16. Negative 8 times 2 is minus 16. Minus 2 is plus 2 minus 2. So you can tell this is 0 plus 0, which is 0. So f of negative 2 is equal to 0. Therefore, the answer is yes. Yes, x plus 2 is a factor of f of x. And that's it for this example.